Timur Bekmambetov is widely regarded as a master of the screenlife film movement. This approach to storytelling uses computers, phones, and similar screens as its primary narrative tools. While it reflects our increasingly screen-focused world, it also keeps a certain distance from traditional cinematic conventions and often incorporates footage shot with phone cameras. Although Bekmambetov is known to have directed films in very different styles as well, his work on films like Profile and his production of standout titles like Unfriended, Searching, and Missing have firmly associated him with this movement. His latest directed film, Mercy, represents an intriguing and unexpected evolution of the screenlife genre, marked by smart creative choices and a strong performance from Rebecca Ferguson.
What is Mercy about?
Mercy is set in a near-future Los Angeles, where a sharp rise in crime has led to the creation of an AI judge known as the Mercy Court. This judge presides over death penalty cases where defendants are statistically likely to be guilty, granting them full access to all evidence in court files so they can prove their innocence. Detective Chris Raven finds himself in a tense situation when his wife Nicole is suspected of murder and must appear before the Mercy Court. Having given up alcohol, Chris remembers very little about that night, but is convinced of her innocence. To navigate the case, he must carefully examine the court evidence and work closely with his partner, Jack Diallo, as the events become increasingly complex.
Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson deliver a fun sci-fi investigation in Mercy.
At its best, screenlife techniques can heighten tension in a well-written thriller, providing informative narrations that smoothly move the story forward. While the heavy use of screens may not always be the most exciting visual choice, it helps the audience experience the story through the main character's perspective. At its worst, it can feel static, confined, monotonous, or uninspiring. Mercy, however, pushes the boundaries of the genre by incorporating AI-driven crime scene reenactments, adding explosive action and a three-dimensional feel to what could have been a standard screenlife investigation. It's a clever choice for dynamic storytelling, and Bekmambetov uses it skillfully, showing that screenlife cinema can evolve. The result feels fresh, promising, and ripe for further exploration. Chris Pratt, portraying Detective Chris Raven, delivers a passionate and fear-filled performance. He conducts a meticulous and believable investigation, while not shying away from his character's vulnerabilities. In some of the more intense scenes, he can appear a bit stiff, but he generally responds appropriately to the moment. Ironically, Rebecca Ferguson plays an AI judge, yet manages to infuse the role with subtle complexity. Ferguson's talent allows the program she embodies, Judge Maddox, to feel human as the story progresses, despite being artificial. Callie Race, though not tasked with the deepest emotional role, brings a strong screen presence, especially in fight sequences, a natural fit given her background as a world champion boxer. Overall, Mercy succeeds as a fast-paced thriller about investigating a cruel crime, even though certain questions remain unanswered and some storylines underexplored. Without spoilers, the film introduces the Mercy Court as an AI-driven system activated in extreme criminal cases. While promotional material suggests the AI's death penalty system might be a deterrent, the film itself raises the same questions we face in the real world. Current capital punishment is not entirely effective, and AI systems, even hypothetically, can misfire. Chris's personal journey, straddling the line between supporting the AI court and questioning its flaws, highlights these tensions, though the film leaves some narrative and logical inconsistencies unresolved. For example, the movie assumes a zero-error AI trial, yet depicts how errors and unfair consequences inevitably emerge. At times, Chris acts heroically to defend the flawed mercy system, which doesn't always make sense within the film's own logic. There are other minor inconsistencies, but avoiding spoilers is key. In short, while the screenplay occasionally strains credibility, the film deliberately tackles complex contemporary issues without offering a fully clear or consistent perspective.
Mercy, an unexpectedly innovative example of screenlife cinema.
Mercy delivers a surprisingly action-packed journey for a complex, intriguing screenlife-style film. Screenlife films revolve around characters interacting with, receiving information from, or being recorded through electronic devices, which often makes them cheaper and easier to produce. However, this advantage can backfire. Without something distinctive, the film risks becoming a narrow display of mundane texts or internet searches. It is still possible to do interesting things within this format. Host demonstrated this with low-budget visual effects, while Searching succeeded through a strong story and a compelling lead performance.
Most of these films, however, remain limited to following a single character's perspective through screens. Mercy adheres to this core element, but expands into a broader world through futuristic crime scene reenactments, avoiding monotony and charting a fresh path for screen-life cinema. Beyond the format, Pratt delivers an impressive performance, while Rebecca Ferguson excels as the AI judge. Some surprises unfold a bit too quickly, and even on the big screen, certain details can be missed. Additionally, there are minor logical issues with different shots and character movements, and the world feels only superficially coherent. The film certainly has strong elements, but it also contains some frustrating moments that could have been refined. Taken together, however, Mercy successfully stretches the conventions of the subgenre, creating a fun, suspenseful sci-fi murder mystery that keeps viewers engaged. Mercy opens in theaters on January 23rd.